Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. Let's jump right in. Late last night, I was watching Chalk Talk by DK Sports, and I was watching Yahya Black. That's how you pronounce his name. And when I was watching him, he kept reminding me of somebody, and I kept trying to think, and then finally the name popped into my mind who Yahya Black reminded me of, and that was Ted Washington. Mount Ted Washington from back in the day. Now let me talk about some of the physical characteristics and stats. Yahya Black is 6'5", 317. Ted Washington, when he was coming out of college, was 6'4.5", 303. Yahya Black's arm length is 35 inches. Now, to put that in perspective, 35 inches, one arm. That means one arm is literally as long as 3 rulers. I mean, his arm length is incredible. Ted Washington's arms were only 34.5 inches. I don't want to say only, but you get what I'm saying. They're not as big as Yahya Black's. Yahya Black has a wingspan of 7 feet long, which is incredible. Now, one thing that I noticed is Yahya Black, everybody's going to talk about his 40 time. It was a 5.39 40. For a guy that size, it's a decent time. Not spectacular. But remember one thing. When you play nose tackle, you don't even have to have a good 10 yards. A 10-yard split. A lot of people will talk about the 40 and the 10. As a nose tackle, you're playing between 1 and 5 yards. 1 and 5 yards forward and 1 and 5 yards side to side. So you need to have a good first step and basically 4 more yards, and that's it. You don't even have to have a decent 10. And this is why he really reminds me of Ted Washington. Ted Washington also, Mount Ted, his combine numbers are 16 reps in the bench press. I see that YA didn't participate in the bench press. I don't know if he had an injury. To me, I think that's because he's hiding something. So it's not like Ted Washington, who had a phenomenal career and was immovable. You couldn't move the man. He was an absolute mountain. I'm going to bring his picture up after this so you could see it, some of his highlights after I get done with this highlight video. But their style of play is very, very similar. Ted Washington, it's like you could not move this man. You could double him, you could triple him. Once he got fully extended and he anchored into the ground, it's an anchor. You could not move the guy. And when I was watching Chalk Talk last night, I don't know who the host was. I can't tell. I usually know the voice, but I'm a little bit confused by this voice. I don't know if it was Chris or another guy, but he said the same exact thing. Yahya Black, once he anchors and fully extends, you can't move him. I think this could be a real steal of the draft for the Steelers. He really reminds me of Ted Washington. Let's get into the tape. Let me turn the volume down. I don't want to steal anybody's complete work. 94 is Yahya Black. He holds his man up at the line of scrimmage. He's got his eyes the whole time on the ball carrier. He sheds the man, makes the tackle. Boom. Brings him down behind the line of scrimmage. Now, look at the play. He had to move to his left 2 or 3 yards. He's 5 yards away from the play. These are running backs that run full speed, that are running 4.4s, 4.5s, 4.6s, whatever. They're running faster than him. Does he have an issue setting the edge and moving laterally or vertical? It doesn't look like. I know it's only one play, but this is against Ohio State. Be a little more difficult. I turned the sound down because I want to respect the guy doing the Chalk Talk. I don't want you to just think I'm copying your work word for word. So I turned the volume down. Excuse me. But here we go again. It's in slower motion. Takes on the man. Stands him up at the line of scrimmage. Doesn't get moved. Fully anchored. Fully anchored. Looking for the ball carrier. Peekaboo. He's playing peekaboo. I mean, if you look at this too, it looks like the back has him beat. Has the angle, has him beat, and he sheds the block and gets to the back. So his first, 1 to 3 steps might be pretty fast for a guy that didn't time that fast. A lot of guys will engage and they're so enraged at the blocker that they just lose sight of their job and their purpose. It's to tackle the running back. Like, keep your head up, keep your eyes up, look for the running back. Let's watch him again. Yahya Black. I can't tell what team that is. I thought it was Texas, but it's definitely not Texas. Now let's watch him move to his right. The other play, he moved to his left. Now he's moving to the right. So he's able to slide. The running back has 2 steps on him, and he's able to slide to the right to collapse the pocket down and make the play. For a guy that doesn't have a great 40 and a great 10, again, he's just got to move 1 to 5 yards north-south and 1 to 5 yards east-west, and he's the next Ted Washington. And when he gains more weight, he's coming out. Ted Washington only weighed 303 coming out of college. Yahya Black is heavier than him, and if he puts on weight, you should always try to put on healthy weight, but let's say he gained another 40 pounds and some of it was just from eating cheeseburgers and steaks, it's not necessarily a bad thing, as long as he's in condition. The most impressive thing about Yahya Black is that a guy this size, and for the things that they're asking him to do, every single play, he's giving maximum effort. Every play. You can't coach that. You can't teach that. Like, for a big guy, he's in condition. Yeah, fine. He doesn't have astronomical numbers that you want to see in the combine. But from 1 to 5 yards, this guy's an absolute steal and a stud. Watch him get over to the right. Takes on the blocker. Gets his hands up first. Look at that. The back has 2 steps on him, at least, minimum. Slides to the right. The back has got the angle, got the steps on him. Pushes his man back, collapses the hole. When you watch that play, it's a point that he even kind of made that play or was involved in that play is absolutely amazing. He's getting blocked. The back has 3 or 4 steps on him. He tries to cut back a little bit, and that's all the time it took for Yahya Black to literally just collapse the hole into absolutely nothing. There's nowhere to go. It's a great job. Great job. Now let's watch him versus Michigan. Obviously, Michigan's an excellent team. This will be the last one. You see that play. His feet are always moving. He's always looking for the quarterback or the running back. He's got good eyes. He could shuffle a couple yards this way, a couple yards that way to make the play. That's all you need. You just need a guy that can't be moved. It's so basic, but so valuable at the same time. Takes on 2 blockers right there. He cannot move the guy. Can't move him. Look at this. Full extension. He just dug into the ground like a 1,000-pound anchor where you can't move the man. Twisting and turning. Still fully extended. Full extension. Yeah, he points it out also. You notice a lot of times the big guys always get hurt. Somebody rolling on their ankle. Like, look at his ankle right there. The way it's bent, his leg is bent. It's not like he's taking on guys that weigh 200 pounds. Both of those guys are over 300 pounds, strong as hell, like bulls. And he's not exactly in the best body position to be able to take them on. He's just fully extended, holding his ground. It's super impressive. You know what the best part about this is? Most nose guards or nose tackles, when they take on the blocks, they'll be like, well, I took on the blocks. Somebody else can make the tackle. Not only is he taking on the blocks, he's making the tackle or he's involved in the tackle. So he has stamina for a guy that size. Let's go to Ted Washington, some of his highlights when he was in the league, so we can compare him to Yahya Black. If Yahya Black can be half the player that Ted Washington was, we got a complete major steal in the draft in 2025. And I think he could be 100% of the player that Ted Washington was. So let's jump into the highlights so we can compare the two. And the similarities that I see, that they're always moving and shuffling. Like Yahya Black doesn't really stand still for what's a long period of time on the field is a second or two. He's always moving his feet. He's always moving side to side, looking for the ball carrier. Like he doesn't just stand still. He's a big man that can move. And remember, Ted Washington ate himself into 375. Coming out of college, he was 303. Yahya Black is 317, outweighs him. So putting on more weight might not be a detriment if he can keep his conditioning and still giving the same output play after play. He picks the ball off. Look at that. Look at the pile up. He can't move. I mean, you see what a nightmare it is when the middle of the field is immovable for an offense. And whether he gets you always want him to penetrate, get up the field. But even if he just stands his ground and collapses everything around him, he's done his job. This is going to be a great pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I appreciate you tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2.